you see what happened with Genuine in the Big Brother house?
Yeah, I did, but I thought that was going to just be a conversation for another day.
Oh, fair enough.
I thought that was all mad, actually. Yeah, let's talk about that quickly. Like, Big Brother. Have you been watching Big Brother?
No.
Okay. So what Big Brother is clearly trying to do is Big Brother is trying to have the conversation about genderism. You could see that that's what they're trying to do. You've got a transgender in there. Mm-hmm. You've got a person who's pansexual.
What's that mean?
Right. So is there? I think pansexuality is you are just pretty much on anything. Like it's just about personality. So you could like man, woman. You could like man, woman, trans man, trans woman. But you could also, I think you also, I don't particularly identify yourself as man or woman either.
You're just here.
I think so. So Google that. I know I've got a lot of that right, but not particularly the last bit. But
That's
this guy,
dope, though.
but this
That
guy,
is dope.
well, I don't see. This is the thing.
I think it's dope.
This is the thing, yeah. That person's name is called Shane, yeah. In the day, well, not even in the day. Shane is called Shane when he's a man, yeah. But he's called Courtney when he's a woman.
Who's this?
This is the pan. Yeah, this is the pan. Yeah. But when she's called Courtney, she's more drag than like trans. She's not trans, he's just drag. So he wears women's clothes, wears makeup, and like wears a wig, and just, you know what I mean?
So it's Courtney, but then he'll go back to being
Shane.
Is that for a job or just for life?
No, that's his vibe.
That's his vibe.
That's his vibe.
So I'm asking you a question,
Yes.
but I don't want to offend anyone.
Yes.
Could that not be considered in terms of personality traits in another form? Because that not be considered bipolar? Or split personality?
Split personality.
Is it considered
probably.
split personality?
Yeah, split personality. To be honest, could I be totally honest with you? With watching Big Brother and watching this personality, I actually prefer Courtney.
Listen.
No, not in that, not like that.
No, just as a person.
Yeah, as a person, as a person.
So do you see Shane and Courtney as two different people?
Not really, because when I saw Shane for who Shane is, I thought, nah, dash away that man. Dash away that man. Bring back Courtney, because it just felt like.
So you don't
know
see him
what?
as the same person?
I felt like when I saw Shane, I just felt like I saw Courtney, but just in a male version.
So what you saying?
You know
Is
what I
I'm
mean?
confused.
Does that make sense? Like because I was so used to seeing Courtney as well. Yeah. When now I've seen Shane, I thought, right, who's this brother? I thought this was a new Don, and then I've realized, oh, this is Courtney. But then I thought, but then Courtney, no, Shane talks like Courtney, so it's not like their voices change. So it's not like when he's Shane, his voice is a bit more deeper, and then when he's Courtney, his voice is a bit more lighter and he exaggerates the feminine side of his voice. He don't do that. He just pretty much talks the same, but he talks he's got a very feminine way of speaking. So when you see him as Shane, you still just see Courtney. Do you get me?
Fam, I don't.
But anyway,
you know what,
I say all of that to say
mad.
this, yeah, because Shane's actually, Courtney, whatever, is very intelligent, and like what I like about Courtney is that like Courtney is able to have a conversation about transgenderism and gender with people that are against it, but not be emotional, listen, say his part, and have a have a good dialogue. And I really like that.
That's sick.
But there's someone else in there called India, big 50-year-old woman, transgender woman, who is not able to do that, and she gets very emotional about stuff. Now, they had not an argument, but there was like this debate about whether, because India asked Genuwine whether he would date a trans woman.
He said no, right?
And he said no. So India said, but you would date a woman, no?
And he said yeah.
And he said yeah. So he said, but so then India said, but I'm a woman. So Genuwine now knows where this is going, but he wasn't ready for this conversation. I'd be ready for this conversation. Yeah. But Genuwine wasn't ready, and you could see that he clearly didn't want to say the wrong thing to offend anyone. So he was back. He didn't really know what to say. Do you get what I'm saying? He was just like, I wouldn't date a trans woman. So he kept saying, well, she kept saying, so, but if you would date a woman, why wouldn't you date a trans woman? It's the same thing, practically. He's just like, I wouldn't date a trans woman. That's all he was saying. Yeah. You know them ones there. Yeah. Like, I believe that. That's not my thing. So anyway, then he went to go, like, then I keep saying he. Then she went to go and kiss Genuine kind of backed off a little bit. Like, it was all a joke kind of thing. And then it kind of got like, I just didn't see it as a big deal. And she ended up getting quite upset.
Why?
She ended up getting quite upset because she was like, I'm never going to find somebody who is going to date me for me because I'm a trans woman, yeah? And there was this part at the end where, if I'm being honest, I felt sorry for her only because I feel that she doesn't particularly... I feel like I'm going to offend somebody by saying this, but I feel that, like, she's still finding it hard to accept who she is and how people see transgenderism in this country or just worldwide or whatever. In her head, she's thinking, in her head, she feels, I'm a woman though. So if you would date a woman, why would you just not date me? If you didn't know, why would you just not date me? Which then led to a conversation in my household where someone had asked me, would I date a trans woman? And I said, I wouldn't date a trans woman. That's just not my flavour. That's not my flavour. It's the same way as if, you know, you're asking me, would I date a woman who was 30 stone? No, I'm not. I'm just,
it's not your preference.
It's not my flavour. It's not my flavour. But I could see that, like, what Big Brother is clearly trying to do is have the conversation, or have people have some dialogue about transgenderism and how people see things and whatever. And that's something that I wanted to do. Remember, I told you from early last year. Remember, I said to you early last year, 2017, I was like, I would actually like to have a conversation with somebody who is transgender, just to have a conversation with them to find out what it is that goes on in their mind. Because you know what? I don't know. And although for me, you know, like, people always say, like, oh, I don't give a fuck about what people do as long as it's behind closed doors and that. I'm of that same thing. If it doesn't affect me, then do whatever the hell you want to do. But you know what I've realised? But wait,
I do feel
can I just finish though?
Too much choice now.
Let me just finish though, yeah, Dan. Let me just finish. My thing is, the reason why I feel it's important to have this conversation is because I've started to realise that these things do affect me. Do you know why they do affect me? Because if I call a transgender he, then it's a big argument. So then that affects me. I might lose a job opportunity, or something might, like, it might get thrown in my face somehow. So this is maybe a lack of understanding on my part now. Do you get me? So that's why I want to have this conversation.
It is a good conversation because we don't really get it, yeah? But at the same time, I think, obviously, look, I'm a man and I identify as being a man. That's all I've ever known, is that I'm a guy, innit? So I don't really understand the mind state of not feeling like a man and blah, 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 blah. I can only speak from my standpoint. I feel like we can decide what we like, what we don't like, blah, blah, blah. But certain things are, you was born a man, so you're a man.
Well, see, the argument is that you weren't born.
You were a man at one point.
No, you weren't.
What if you were born?
You had the male chromosome.
No, if you're born with a penis.
You're not born a man. You're born a boy.
A male. Forget man then. Male.
Okay.
You're born a male, yeah?
Chloe, do you want this conversation? Do you want to do it?
To be honest with you, I don't mind it, because
look,
be honest, because if it makes man feel uncomfortable,
no, not at all.
You know what it is, yeah? I'm done with people not liking people's opinions. My opinion is just my opinion, you know? It's not correct. It's my opinion. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm not saying this is the gospel truth. I'm just saying it from my point of view. My point of view is that you're a male. Obviously, I'm ignorant to it because I've only ever acknowledged myself as a male, yeah? But I do feel like we are giving humans in general way too much choice in what they are, who they are, how they are. Like, and choice isn't necessarily always a bad thing, but I feel like if you're born a male, then you're born a male. You may not like it and you may want to switch. Cool. Then you do the switch up thing. But that thing there, where the man's changing from day to night and from hour to hour.
This is how I feel. This is how I feel about the situation, and in specific to the Genuine situation. What anybody wants to do if they're 24 hours a day, as long as you ain't negative and hurting anyone's feelings, trust me, from the bottom of our heart, I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want anyone to tell me anything. So now we're on an even playing field. I can't tell you anything. You can't tell me anything. So if I'm telling you I'm not into a transgender or so on and so forth in that capacity as a relationship, If you get upset with me, that doesn't make sense. Because I'm not upset with you in any capacity about anything you want to do. I don't want to do something. I'm well within my rights to say I don't want to do it. I've not said I don't respect you, or I don't rate you. I've not said any of that. I've just said I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, isn't it equally?
Why can't I not say that?
Is it equally? It's equally the same as me being offended if someone said they just didn't want to date me. So am I supposed to be offended by that?
Why? And the thing is, and
if a girl said that she doesn't like a black man, or somebody said they don't like a black man,
should you be offended by that? That they don't like it. Yeah. My God, like from day one, I've had J-Lo pictures in my room and Beyonce with curls. Now the mother of my kids has gold curl, like it clearly shows that there's some consistency there. So, and maybe a person that was dark skinned or so never had a chance. Should they be offended by that? No. Why would you be offended? Who the hell am I? Why am I so significant to you that you don't be offended? It's my preference. I can't explain to you why I like that. That's just genuinely what I like. I'm not offending anyone. I'm not saying she's better than anyone or this tone skins. I'm just saying that's what I like. So when it comes to the Genuine situation, because what I saw on the online is people are trying to get at him and go at him. Yeah. And from the little clip I saw, which wasn't much, Chucky, he seemed to be mad respectful.
Yeah, it was.
He didn't seem like he was being rude.
Very calm, actually.
Very calm. So for anyone to have a problem with him saying that's not my preference, that's a mad thing.
The thing is,
that's just mad to me.
She actually came off the worst in that, in my opinion. But again, and even in the house, because everybody was kind of like, look, I think once one of the girls went up to her and said, look, like, I don't want you to be the person in the house that's going to be offended every day, because this is the way that it's looking. You're going to be offended by something every day. Everyone in the house was of that same opinion. But when you take it outside of the house now, again, where we're in this fake outrage thing, you're going to get people that are going to find a way to be upset at Genuine because he said that he wouldn't date a trans woman.
This is mad though,
Chucky. It's mental to me, bruv.
Chucky, you know what? Go on,
sorry. I was going to say as well, like off that what Dan said, I actually don't even think that there's a bad thing about choice. Like, if that's just what you want to do, that's just what you want to do. The only thing that I particularly have a little bit of an issue with is that, like, I feel that there's this conversation now where people are desperate, not accepting, but desperate for a kid to find his sexuality early and say that he's the opposite sex.
Bro,
I really do feel that. I really do feel that.
Did you see the Lewis Hamilton thing? Let me show you why I think this country is going absolutely crazy. Lewis Hamilton is on Snapchat. He's gone and filmed a boy relatively young, maybe 2-3 years old, in a dress, family member in a dress, and said, that's not yours, that's not for you. And the whole world has gone crazy. Yeah. Now, what I'm about to say could get me in trouble, but this is genuinely how I feel. At no point did Lewis Hamilton's tone or his approach to the situation seem negative. It seemed playful. It didn't seem ignorant. All he was saying is, you shouldn't wear the dress. He's a kid. Lewis Hamilton's not saying you shouldn't wear the dress because you're a boy and you must, and only boys wear this and that. He wasn't trying to do it to the point where in which you've got grown adults killing Lewis Hamilton, saying, why are you putting pressure on this little boy? Blood, like, as an adult, however you want your child to grow and so on and so forth, it's up to you. As long as it's positive, it's up to you to do it, because let's be real, when you turn off Snapchat, when you turn off all of that shit, it's you that have to raise a picnic, you know? Not anyone out here telling you what you got to do. It's you that's got to raise the child. As long as you raise your child to be respectful to everybody and accept everyone's differences and so on and so forth, and, you know, be one of yourself, let them.
Yeah.
Don't fucking put pressure on Lewis Hamilton to say he can't. Blood, I would do it on Snapchat tomorrow, cuz. Yeah. I would say, if my little boy was wearing it, I'm like, what are you wearing a dress for? I'll take it off him. If anyone wanted to get angry, I'd be like, why are you angry at me for me telling my son, I don't want you wearing a dress, fam?
Yeah. The reason why I think like some
Something
people
wrong with that. It's not a big issue.
Was upset about it is because they are thinking that if, let's just say, for the kid's sake, that the kid might have been feeling in his head that he was a girl. Yeah. That what Lewis Hamilton was doing was damaging to the child, because the child might actually feel like that he's a girl, and that's why.
How do you know any like? How do you know it's damaging?
I just wanted to just say as well, like, just off my point was that, like, I feel that there's a difference between being accepting and showing acceptance that you know what, my child actually might be going through something different right now, and I'm gonna accept that.
Yeah.
To somebody being desperate for their child to be the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's the tone that I get from when I listen to the radio and I listen to certain conversations. I feel that people are just desperate to just do this new thing of, you know what, when my child grows up, like when my baby's born, it's gender neutral. I'm gonna give it the girl. It's like, even though it's got a penis and stuff and it's got the boy chromosome, I'm gonna give it the girl stuff just in case he might like the girl stuff. But I just feel like that's where it makes it different.
I like.
But the thing is, even if, as a boy, even if you do like playing with girl stuff, that doesn't particularly mean that you do want to be a girl.
Exactly.
You just might like the girl stuff.
But if someone wanted to put their children in dresses and all of that, I wouldn't say anything. But if that's what you're gonna do with your little boy and you lot are all happy, go ahead. Yeah. But why should you have the freedom to do it, but someone doesn't want to do it, but it's so bad?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. And then they tried to make it be all of these things that Lewis Hamilton's not. Lewis Hamilton is not the person you're making him out to be. Then you start talking about, but look at the message he's sending. Bro, all Lewis Hamilton said, if we take a look at it from a normal perspective, was that dress isn't yours, you shouldn't be wearing that. Done. He could have meant that it's his niece's dress or something like that. You don't have a clue. He's had to come forward and made a public statement apologising. But this thing is mad, fam.
Listen, bottom line, for everyone that wants their son to be a girl, that's fine.
That's
but
fine.
If I would like my son to be a son, that's fine too.
Thank you. That's all I want to say. Cause it can't be one way. There's rules. It can't be your way and not my way.
Yeah.
So you can't be on Instagram encouraging your child to wear a dress.
Yeah.
But I can't be on Instagram saying to my son, no, I don't want you wearing a dress. It's my fucking son.
Yeah.
It's my son. I had sex with my gal. She had the baby in her stomach for a certain amount of time. I look after the youth. When the youth is old enough to make their own mind and come to conclusions of what they want to do, I will support them 100% in anything they want to do. But as an adolescent, as a child, this is the way in which I want to raise my child. It's not to scrutinize anybody else or to say this person's not good. This is just the way I want to raise my child. It doesn't mean it's going to do that forever. It might change.
Yeah.
Let me raise my child. What the fuck are you getting involved for? It's a mad, all of that type of shit. And do you know what it is? It's always, I feel like a lot of people that don't have kids always have this sort of, no, you should do this, no, you should do that. I'm like, you need to have a kid.
Well, I've been seeing a lot recently, like people saying, yeah, when my child's born, like it's gender neutral. It's gender neutral. So it's like, I'm not raising my child as a boy or a girl. And do you know what? I guess that's up to you.
That's your business. Where my son, I'm bringing in football.
If that's something that you want to do, then that's absolutely fine. I just think that you can't now be so critical on how a parent decides to raise their child. But then, with that being said, there are some people that are just not fit enough to raise a child.
Listen, I'm done with all this.
But you know what? It's one thing. Sorry to cut you off, Dan. One thing we have to accept here, and people need to fucking just wake up. There are differences. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna raise my child to not think he's a guy or a male because he's got a dick. He doesn't have a vagina. I don't want this nigga walking in the girl's toilet thinking that he can sit down on the toilet.
I think that they don't think that makes you a boy though, or a man.
That's fair enough, and they're
remember.
But Chucky, what did you say?
I'm just saying.
Chucky, do you know what you said? They don't think, and you're entitled to think what you want. I do think my youth's a boy. I do think that my youth is going to have certain differences to a girl. He's going to be stronger than a female just by genetics.
Yeah, I hear that.
But genetics, I can go and show you science that proves that boys are more time stronger than girls. So I'm not going to put him in a situation where he feels that him and the girl are the same in everything, because they're not, and that's cool.
Yeah.
There are some things where it's equal, like for example, the rights you have in life should be equal. We're not talking about that. We're talking about from a basic principle of like genetics now. They're different. This boy don't have kids.
I would like to know. I would like to know whether these people or people that feel that way feel that being a boy and a man and a girl and a woman is a social construct.
Listen,
I know people that think it is.
Listen. You see all of this?
So
I'm done with fake woke. I'm done with fake woke. So much people last year decided to become fake woke.
Something that they became woke. I hate the word woke. It's bollocks.
Elaborate
fam.
on that. Elaborate on that.
Do you know what it is? Everyone's just like, it's just something simple. Like, this is a spoon, yeah?
Yeah.
somebody will turn this into some kind of social economic problem. It's an image and it represents something. No, it's just a fucking spoon. Yeah? That child has a penis. Now, for the last 1,000 years, if you were born with a penis, you were called a male. I don't care how fake woke you are in 2015, 16, 17. That the last 1,000 years still happened. That is still a boy. If he grows up and doesn't want to identify with it as a boy, chop it off.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? Then that's it.
And do you know what? I'll be right beside them like, yo, that's what you want to do?
Yeah.
My G, you do it. But why can't I?
Do you know what it is?
All I want to
impressionable
ask you this:
children
are you prepared to keep the same energy when I
See me,
finally
my
bring
energy's
one?
the same.
I will bring my energy the
Alright.
same as well, because I'll be saying to that one, I will.
Are you willing to keep the same energy?
Me, you really think me?
We're not even being disrespectful.
We're not
I
being
know,
disrespectful.
No, I know. I'm not saying that you are being disrespectful. I'm just saying, like, this is a conversation that needs to be had.
Do you know what? I think it's
For the
something,
man
you
then.
see, if someone wants to become transgender later in their life, cool. But I think for people who are trying,
that's what I want someone that's transgender.
somebody who's making their child, remember, from 0 years old to whatever age, your choices aren't really your choices.
Yeah.
And a lot of this social construct, your parents make a lot of your personality in the first couple of years, yeah? So if your parents are teaching you that you're a boy but you're a girl, you're fucked already.
No, but Dan, how far? My thing is, I have no problem with what anyone
don't have
does,
a
you know.
problem with it, but I feel
But
like
how
you
far?
confuse the
But
child.
Dan, how far can we go? Because that means that person, the Callum, tomorrow can say, I identify with being black.
How many times? How
Why
long ago?
can't-
How long ago did I say about the squirrel thing? One day, I reckon by 2020, I'll be a squirrel.
But Dan, how far can we go with it? Say Callum says he's black, but this is what he feels. What can I tell him?
Nothing.
So say Callum now, 2 years from now goes, I want to be a tree. What the fuck can I tell him?
Nothing.
So then why the fuck can
But
you
know
tell
what?
me anything?
Listen. You know what? Man can tell him something actually.
No.
I'll tell you you're fucking weird. Because you know what? Here's the thing, yeah.
I wouldn't. I'll be like, fair enough, that's what you're into.
I
cuz.
consider myself quite normal. Other people will consider
What's
me quite
normal?
weird. Exactly. So for me, if someone decides to be a tree, to me, you're a weirdo. I'm sorry, but if you decide to be,
What
a
are you
tree,
implying?
I'm just saying that to everyone.
You see that ice is mad thin, cuz.
Yeah, you see, yeah, I know. So what I'm saying is, to me, I consider myself normal, and everyone who's not like me and doesn't think like me, to me, it's a bit weird. Same way,
That's fair
if
enough.
I'm not like them, they'll consider me a bit weird.
But you accept that though,
I
right?
accept it, of course.
So why can't it? This is my own. Do you know what it is, yeah? It's
I
like,
accept that I'm weird.
That ice not so thin.
but Chucky,
man.
do you know what I hate?
Yeah, you got out of that.
These, you know, people that like push that agenda and this fake woke shit and all of that. Do you know what they remind me of? Them dons, what they called again, that come to your door trying to tell you about Jesus and all of these.
Jehovah's Witness.
They always forever Jehovah's Witnesses are forever throwing shit in my face. Like, I have loads of beliefs, you know. I believe a lot of things that people will be like, what? But the last thing I'll do is throw it in your face.
Yeah.
The last thing I will make you feel is that my beliefs are more important than yours. I will support you with your beliefs, and if you ask me my opinion, I'll give you mine. And if we want to have a conversation about it, we can. But as for you scrutinizing me for my beliefs, and none of them are negative, none of them cause social divide, none of them do anything which is, I feel, is considered quite bad. How the fuck? Why do you have that right? Why do you have the right? Because I've accepted the fact that you want to be, you say that you're a man, but I look at you as a female. I've accepted the fact that this young person here wants to say the word nigger and he's Mexican. But the moment I say I want my youth to wear clothes that are traditionally for boys, you've got a problem with me. Because you've got a problem with yourself, fam. You're just fighting a battle when no one's attacking you. Why are you defending yourself?
I'd like to find out actually whether this particular trans woman would date a trans man.
Look,
That's an interesting question, actually.
Is that your flavour?
That is very. Oh,
But you know what? I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Because I know some people. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm saying it. Fuck it.
No,
I know
no,
some.
I'm cutting it out.
You can cut it out anyway. I reckon. Do you know some people? Yeah, they will fully be wrong about a situation, and they will do something just to prove a point, even if they don't believe it.
wrong and
So I feel like some
Okay.
people that are transgender, and not all of them, because I'm not saying I don't know every person that's transgender, but I feel like if you pose that question to some people, because it doesn't suit the argument on the wider frame,
of course.
they'll be like, yeah, of course,
Yeah,
I,
of
would.
course I would.
But they
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
in
yeah,
life.
yeah,
But they
yeah.
genuinely
It
wouldn't.
wouldn't
And you can,
lie, yeah,
and obviously
true.
you can relate
Yeah,
that
yeah.
to many
And
different
people
things
do
in life.
that, but people do that
Regardless of
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Regardless of what
People
it is.
always do that to win an argument or to prove a point or whatever. So you're
But that's
right.
because...
Yeah, so
But I'm talking about a particular type of person, and a particular type of person
I will be
I'm
able
talking
to. I
about
feel
is a woman that attacked Genuine. I feel like that's how she is.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Well,
She's
do you know what? There was a pic because she was going on about she don't like drags.
Who
and
said that?
She's got a phobia. This is India, yeah. The trans woman. She says she got a phobia of drags. And when Shane went into Courtney, when Shane or Courtney got one of the other guys in the house to dress up as a woman for Bants and to be what do you call it? Drag. So just for example, say I'm Courtney and I just as a joke get you to go in women's clothes and just be drag. Now India start barling. Now she start getting emotional.
Saying what?
She's got a phobia. She's got a phobia of drag women. Yeah. Anyway, internet is a beautiful place at times. Because while she's sitting there barling on Big Brother and doing all of that, acting as though she don't like drag and she's got a phobia in that, all these pictures started popping up of her with people that was in drag. Kissing, pounding, hugging up. So it's like, what is this about? Like, what is this about?
Yeah, it's almost done.
Yeah, what is this about?
Niggas don't have beliefs anymore anyway.
All right.
Just give up this world.
Yeah,
God bless everyone, man. I
Yeah,
love
man,
you all.
It's going to happen anyway, man. It'll be a good thing.
Just
I
know
wanted to
Chucky
talk
and
about-
Poet and Dan and Callum love you regardless of your social class, your colour, whether you think you're a boy, girl, dog, cat, fucking plant. Man, them here love
I just want
you.
to understand. You know what it is? I just want to try to understand. I just want to have a conversation to try to understand because you see what, yeah? As I've said before, loads of times I always say, you know what? Yeah, man, whatever people do behind closed doors is what they do behind closed doors, or whatever people's sexual preferences is their preference. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. But then I've realised, oh no, it actually does affect me to a degree because now I'm put in a position a lot where I'm having to answer certain things. I'm having to say certain stuff and people are getting mad offended. So if everyone's getting mad offended, clearly it's affecting me somehow. So let's have a conversation so I can get a better understanding of what the fuck's happening here.
Give me one comparison before we all go. You know, my mum was so against, she was not so against it, but she made it known she would want me to bring home a black girl. That's something my mum always said for me from when I was young. But she still let me know that whatever you want to do is entirely up to you. But my preference would be that you bring a black girl home. Big man, my girl's Tunisian. With gold locks and doesn't look that black. My mum still accepted her. So my whole thing is like, yes, I can say I don't want my son to do certain things. But that doesn't mean that when they're 18 years old and they decide to do it, that I'm going to be, say, fucking prick, how can you? I'm going to be open them. They're my son. You choose whatever you want. I got your back as your dad, fam. So I think people that sort of think anything, just allow it,
You know
man.
what it is though? I just want to say this lastly. I think that with you, some people might say that that's good. So it's not about preaching to the converted. It's more about talking to the people who don't have that same mindset.
Fair
And that
enough.
if they have a child
fair
that does become trans or whatever, that their parents are not so accepting and they have to go through a whole load of mental abuse. Do you get me? And that's why another reason why I think we should have the conversation.